Welcome back, everyone, to Tunic. Best never to start an episode when you're taking your first sip of bourbon for the night. Thought that would go down a little smoother than it did. These guys are fun, aren't they? Boom. They blow up, and they kill you if you get hit by the explosion. Hooray. Hooray for you, hooray for me. In other news, I am making progress in this game. Obviously. There's a lot to do. A lot to see. Don't know what that's for. Figure it out eventually. Kind of looks like a hook shot thing. I can use my Zelda knowledge. You guy, big guy with the cape and the huge fucking shield. You are an oddity to me. Whereas all of the other enemies in this game seem to advance on you, you are insistent on staying or protecting a spot. This one fucking spot. You're more interested in this this square of land than you are of anything else. Like, I thought he would come after me, particularly if I went into his AoE, attacked him. Nope. He only attacks you when you attack him. And then once he knocks you out of his area, he just goes back to being normal. He does not chase you down like the other enemies do. A little weird. Also, I've said this multiple times before, I really like this game. I don't know what this game's going to be, though, as we continue on. Because, as I've mentioned before, it's kind of like a Zelda, kind of like a Dark Souls. It's kind of neither. And it's kind of both. You know what I mean? It's, you know, Dark Souls lets you move the camera, all that other fun stuff you can do with it. Switch weapons, you know, choose your weapon build, power up your armor, power up your character. You can do some of that in this game, but, you know, you're not, like, there's no way to just dump all your stats into attack or defense or whatever. So, in a way, it's like a Zelda game where you're getting stronger and you're getting more HP as you go along, and then they may give you... I still don't know how to get over there. I'd like to get over there. I just don't know how to get over there. So... got a person who's been sealed away. Want to rescue them, like a Zelda. But there's a lot of not like a Zelda. I don't know what that reads. I'm not going to translate this language unless they get me a in-game translation. You know, like, hey, here's a book that translates all the text into actual English, highly and whatever. East Bell Tower. We already were here. But I want to take a look around again. Because now that I know I have this power, I want to use it. You know? What can it be used on? Presume it can't be used on these bells, because that was sort of our first... Ooh, there's something down here. Okay, sweet. That was our initial push to come here, was to you know, sort of like check around, see what's going on. I'm exploring because I'm interested to see if there's anything that I didn't notice the first time or that's hidden from me this first time, or is there a path that I didn't see that I want to go down, you know, that sort of thing. But we'll keep looking, I guess. Still have not told anyone as of this playthrough that I'm playing this game. Still not using wikis or anything to help me out to get through the game. Playthroughs, walkthroughs, what have you. Just want to kind of bumble my way through this game as much as I can. And when I hit a dead end, then maybe I'll consult a wiki. But as of right now, the game has enough openings, you know, like what I mean by that is like paths, like you know, getting from pick a point A and pick a point B in the game, and there are places that I don't have access to, obviously, because there are gaps in, like for instance, this gap here. Not that I want to get to the top of that column, but say you wanted to get to the top of that column, I'm missing some sort of move or ability that allows me to, you know, create blocks, jump over there, etc. This is one of the areas I didn't explore earlier because the green guy was standing here. So I'm planning on actually throwing bombs at him, and then we're just gonna go walk past him. Or I'll die. Can die as well. That's, you know what I mean by him not progressing? Like, I got near him, he attacks me. I walk away from him, he doesn't pursue me, so it's like, okay. Like, you just walk outside of your, you know, what you're guarding, and like, you just become the simplest enemy. I don't understand that. I thought you'd be like, sort of like, okay, so you've got low-level grunts, then you get the grunts with shields, then you've got larger versions of those enemies, and then here comes a new completely new guy you haven't seen yet, that, you know, completely different. Alright, firebombs. And then it's, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's surprising to me that he doesn't. It just, I get the fact that earlier in this game he was standing on top of a key and you don't want him to move off that spot. Okay, I get that. Once the key's gone, there's no reason for him to stand around and do nothing, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's, they programmed him in that exact way so that you couldn't, like, lure him, kite around to the back end of him, and then, you know, sneak around to, like, a later area. Or sneak around and get the key that goes to the house. Oh. Shit. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Welcome to the hero's grave. Alright, I'm missing something here. There's some sort of, like, bridge that I gotta create or find in order to get over there. I'll have to figure that out. Excuse me, I'll figure that out. I imagine this might be an unlockable thing, like, oh, after you've defeated all of the bosses and you've gotten all the coins, we'll unlock this. Or, hey, in order to get to here, in order to get this power up here, you need to defeat certain dungeons or unlock certain secrets, you know, like, hey, you know, here's an area you can't get to right now. When you go through there and you press a button, it'll unlock that one bridge. Allows you to get that power up. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Game is mysterious. Has mysterious ways. I also am just absolutely weirded out by the fact that that worked. Like, okay, so there's... that literally led me nowhere, but that's okay. At least lets me know it works, right? Praying at the statue, talking to whoever this is. Alright, my little pray thing doesn't do anything for you. I like those guys dying in one hit. It makes me feel good. So I think pretty sure they were dying in one hit earlier in the game as soon as I got my sword. So all things should die in one hit. I lie. Not everything should die in one hit. Hello, Mr. Well. I'm going to toss more coins into you eventually. Maybe not now. But maybe now. Toss a coin in. See what happens. Originally when I found the well, I thought that you know, because there are multiple well locations. Oh, sweet. I got a power up. I got another block to put one of my memory pieces in. I call them memory pieces because they kind of remind me of the square card memory game that I used to have and used to play with my brother. That's a kind term. I used to get creamed by my brother because, you know, I have the ability to remember things for the standard amount of time, we'll say. You know, so in 6 minutes, or after you show me 3 more cards, I'll completely, or I'll have more than likely forgotten where the location of the original card that I pulled was. Whereas my brothers, plural, they do not. They look at a card, they go, okay, the card is row 2, column 3, something like that, you know. Obviously their brains don't quite work like that because they've been doing this since they were in preschool. So they're, you know, in preschool they're not going column, you know, they're not doing chess notation in their head. They're not going B5 to B not to A7, you know. But they'd cream the shit out of me, like I said, because what would happen is they would look at the board, they would see you pick, or they would pick, you know, the first of 2 birds, okay? And they weren't perfect, mind you. They weren't like super genius perfect level, but they were perfect enough that it, you know, if you were a normal person, you would never beat them at memory. Because they would see a pattern on the board, and they would see the grid as it was, and they would go, yeah, I remember the birds there, you know, the pumpkins over there, ice cream's over here, and I don't know. I think it's a fun game, but it's not a fun game unless you are good at memory. And I know my niece is not old enough for memory yet, but I bought her and brought it down to Columbia when I went to visit them a year and a half ago now. A game memory, and I put in their house. So eventually when Eloise gets a little bit older, hopefully she has that high IQ like her brother and mother do, and they fucking battle it out for the memory champion, because it's not a hard game. It's a picture game. You know, here's a picture of a toucan. Go find the other toucan picture. Here's a picture of a rose. Go find the other rose. You know. And they have all kinds of different versions of memory. So if you want to play like a, I don't know, sure they've got a bluey version of memory. You know, any other like Sesame Street, they probably have one for that as well. I know they have one for ABCs, so they have one for each letter of the alphabet. And all of them, you know, they have the letter and then they have the corresponding picture, you know, that goes along with it. So like xylophone would be X, or X-ray maybe. And then you would have like Q would probably be quail. Though you could probably make Q could be a couple other things like question. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always just sort of hoping that Eloise is really smart and she just fucking not takes it to or dominates that game. I would just love to see well, not a high stakes game, not a high stakes version of a game, but like have like a game where like Eloise goes and she finds like, you know, early on they're picking random things, you know, I pick this one, I pick that one, and then then my brother goes, he picks this one, picks that one, and there are no matches up to this point. And then like, you know, Eloise or Steven picks, you know, the second toucan or the second rose or the second whatever, and I found progression. Hooray for me. I just have to get around to that side. Shouldn't be too hard because it looks like there's a little archway here. The long story short, I'd love to see where like you know, Steve picks, you know, the second item, the you know, a matching set, but unfortunately it was his second draw. So he picks up the, you know, the toucan or whatever the other thing is, and his daughter looks at him and she smiles and giggles and goes, "Oh, Daddy, I know where that is," and just breaks his fucking spine. Not literally break his spine, but like just be like, "Oh, Eloise, you're so smart. You're such a smart girl," and Eloise would be like, "Yeah, you don't even know. You don't even know. You don't understand. I inherited my competitiveness from you, who inherited from your mother, who inherited it from her father. I will cut you. I will cut you to win this game." Essentially. Not really. Not like... We've never pulled guns. We've never had a card game where we've pulled guns on each other, or knives, or anything else. But we will do pretty much anything to win. Oh, nifty. I need to collect the Temple, Sky, World. Again, this is the same battle fought countless times. Okay, I don't know what that means. That's a little disturbing, though. This cycle has repeated itself more than, say, twice. Oh, good. We got another merchant. This might be the same merchant, who knows? It's offering me a vial upgrade. That's great. 1,000. That's a little expensive, though. $9.99. That's expensive. Okay, that's not expensive. We're gonna buy that. I don't know what that does. It does something, probably. This is sort of like a little health yum yum. And then you've got fire bombs, regular bombs to the far left there. We need to get inside this building. Okay, well, apparently each well is the same as every other well. So it's not like you throw in one coin and that well stops working. No, they all work as a collective well. So if I throw all my coins in well 1 and I walk to well 2 will say, oh, you collected this many coins. You've thrown this many in the basket, the well, as you know. Hooray. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit of a bad, sore loser. I just... My mother and I had a competitive streak in me. I think everyone has a competitive streak to a degree, okay? Everyone wants to compete in some capacity. However, when it comes to games, boy, no one in my family wants to ever lose a game. And I probably would say, if I had to guess, my sister is probably the most gracious of players. She wants to play. This is a theory that I'm making up right now. She wants to play because it's part of a group activity, and it gives her socialization, which she likes as an extrovert. Okay. But when it comes to myself, my 2 brothers, and my mother, we would just want to win. We don't care how we win. We just want to win, you know? And my mom learned I wouldn't say dirty tricks. My mother learned from her father, you do what you need to do to win. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, well, you know, you stack the deck, you look at all the cards, you know, you make sure, you know, you're not out and out, you know, doing the devious cheating where you're putting, like, you know, little thumb, you know, little marks on the cards to basically make it so that you know what cards each person has because you've marked the cards in such a way where you've folded corners or put little, you know, slashes, you know, fingernail slashes on the back of the cards to indicate what card it is. We're not going like that far to the point that every time we play a card game, and even between hand, you know, we like say after 3 or 4 hands, we have to switch cards because at that point everyone's dealt once, and that means that someone like my mother might have marked the cards, so we have to open up a brand new pack of cards because we don't trust the fact that the dealer or dealers have marked the cards to indicate what's in your hand. We never got that far. But if you're sitting there with a hand, okay, you want to keep that cupped, and you want to keep it close to your what they call close to the vest. Common phrase. Because my mother will look in your hand if you let her. Like if you have your hand too far out, or you don't have it like really pushed up against to the point that she can see your cards. If she can see your cards, she will look. And the way her father taught her is, if you're stupid enough to show me your cards, I will look. I will see what's in there. And I will tell you later on in the game when I think you need to throw the whatever card. We'll say the King of Hearts. You'll say, why don't you throw that King of Hearts there, Chris? Because that's the kind of cutthroat type of games we play. We're not super cutthroat, as I mentioned. We're not going to out and out cheat, like i.e. mark the cards with our fingernails to basically cheat that way. However, we are hyper competitive, and we will get our butts hurt if we think you're cheating. That mainly goes for her brothers and sister. Well, her sisters don't really play games, but her brother, she's got two of her 3 brothers are cutthroat card players. And again, this is all within the context that they don't actually mark cards. They don't out and out like do the super secret cheating shit. But like they don't, there's no honor among thieves is what I'm trying to get at. Sneaky bell, we got the sneaky bell. or the alarm bell. I don't know. You tell me.